name is Mohammed. I'm the head of EFA, English for Africa. And today's topic for our EFA-WITT webinar initiative for teacher training is well-being of EFL teachers. I'm very happy to welcome Aya, who is a very well-known and very appreciated trainer and a part of the EFA team, actually. Aya, I'm going to hand over to you now. I'll be here, of course, but have fun.
All right, thank you, Mohammed. Okay, so hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks God.
All right, that's excellent. Very good. If you can have your cameras open, that would be great. If you can't, that's okay, but it would be better to see you. All right. So, very, very good. So, let's take a look here at our session. So the name of the session is Professional Development and Wellbeing. And this is a brief introduction about me. So this is Aya. I am the founder of Teachers College. I am a CELTA tutor at Cambridge University. My trainer is right here. So Mohammed was my trainer doing the CELTA training. I'm also a freelance teacher trainer at the British Council. So this is it about me. So it would be very nice if you could write in the chat box something about you. Or if you'd like to just unmute and speak, that'd be nicer. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so CELTA and Spanish. Okay, that's interesting. How did that happen? I'm talking about Rashid.
Yeah, okay. How did it happen? Basically, I've been teaching Spanish for now almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided 2 years ago to take the training with Mohammed with the English of Africa. I did the CELTA certification. And yes, I wanted to open my qualifications and to be able to teach English. So it was hard, but I managed to do this training, which was very interesting. So now I'm currently just teaching Spanish. I'm not teaching English so far. So right now I'm not teaching English, but just Spanish. But in the future, I would be interested to have this opportunity to teach kids and in primary school. So this is why I'm interested in training myself and do some more trainings to have all the qualifications.
That's nice. Okay.
Yes.
I think that doing a CELTA, I mean, is helpful when it comes to teaching other languages. So it's not only about English, but even like managing a class and so on.
Exactly. Definitely, it was very interesting. The exchanges with the other students as well. The high quality level of the training as well. I learned a lot, because I've been like teaching for almost 20 years, but I was like, wow, I learned so much during this 2 months training. It was so interesting.
All right, that's very good to hear. All right, so
yes.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. So hello, Ashraf, and let me see who else. Okay, in a French school. All right, and hello, Raja. Thank you for being here. All right, and hello, everyone. Even if you didn't type anything in the chat box, that's absolutely fine. So, very nice. So moving on to the two concepts that we want to think about. So we're going to start with this part here about professional development, and then we'll speak about well-being after that. Okay, and it's not related to priority or anything, but this is how the session is organized. So let's agree on two main things. Number one is professional development isn't rocket science. It's not impossible. It's not something that you can't do. And most of the time, you know, especially at the beginning of our career, we feel like we're lost. We don't know where to go, how to start, like the right way to do things. The good thing is there isn't only one way. There are too many ways. There are so many different things that we can do. All right, so this is the first thing that we want to agree on. The second thing, and it was confirmed today, like I think some people are still working, some people are still marking exams or homework. So, I mean, I don't even need to say it. Teachers are busy people. We are busy all the time. Okay, so these are two things that we need to keep in mind when we think about our professional development. All right. So, okay, so in this section here, we will be discussing like how to develop our own or to tailor our own professional development program. What to do, how to choose, how to decide on what we need to do. All right, so we're just going to follow a very simple plan before, while, and after. And let's think about this here. Take a look at the picture to the right. It's at least to my right. I don't know where you can see it, but it's to my right. So what does it like? What do you think of when you see that? What is it related to? And please unmute and speak. I mean, the number is not huge, so we can chat with each other. You don't have to use the chat box.
I think
Like a map of a tube map.
Okay, could be. Interesting one.
I think, in my opinion, it shows like every one of us has an objective, and to that objective there are many ways. And maybe we have to consider different things to go or to use the shortcut to reach the objective.
Okay.
I think it shows that I have at least one friend. Her name is Krista.
Could be. It's like this is the only way that I can go, like that's the only person that I can yeah, all right. So okay, that's nice. What else? Other ideas?
Certain paths are longer than others.
Yes. Does it mean that they're worse?
No,
Not necessarily, right?
they are different.
Okay, very good. All right, let's get one more idea from someone who did not participate. All right. Okay. So let's not have that. Let's move on. All right. So actually, when I think about it, about this one, what I see is, you know, when you order like a taxi or Uber or something like that, I want you to think of the application, what you have. What's the first thing that you put in? The first thing is the pickup location, where you are, right? And then after this, you also add the destination, right? And then they recommend, you know, some drivers maybe, like there isn't this application, I don't know, it's very famous in Egypt, it's InDrive. And then it recommends you, or it gives you some drivers to choose from, different prices. Good. And you choose what you like. So we have the beginning or the start of your journey, the pickup point, and then you have your destination. And between those 2 points, you have the price, the time, the type of car. You have so many different things to choose from. Okay, so this is exactly how we're going to think about our professional development. So just a question, and you can answer it in a chat box. Do you think that all of us have the same pickup point right now at this very moment? Are we all at the same point of our career or life? It's not even a question, right? It's like, no, of course not. Very good. That's nice. So we know the first thing. Now, the second point, which is, do we all want to go to the same place? Do we all want to achieve the same things? Of course not, right? Okay, very good. So we can't all choose the same path. It's very difficult. It's not difficult, it's almost impossible, right? Okay, very good. So this is how we think about it. So before you pick up, before you add the pickup point, right? You need to think where you're going, whether it's training today, whether it's going to be a nice day, what you're going to do there, and so on. And those are all questions that we're going to think about together. So, just a disclaimer here, in this session, I wouldn't be telling you what to do or how to do it or any of this. We're just some teachers sitting together, thinking and asking questions and trying to think about them together. That's it. All right? Because as we said, there is no single way, there is no one way for all of us to choose. So everybody needs to think for themselves. Okay, so the first thing, before you start the training, before you book a course, before you do any of this, you need to ask yourself those questions. Where am I? Am I a fresh grad? Am I experienced? Where, like, what am I good at? Those things. Where do I stand at this very moment? That's the first thing. The second one, which is remember the destination. Where to? Because if I don't need to go anywhere, I wouldn't move. If I like it here, then there is no need to move. But not all the time, of course, right? And so, and I think this would be the most important question, which is why? So now we're going to start thinking about well-being because it's connected to our why. Let's think about it. So who here checks LinkedIn every day? I do. Do you check like your LinkedIn every day? Check like the feed, news, who did what, who got which certificates, and so on? Or you don't? Because if you don't, that would be nice in a way. Okay, very good. So, oh, good for you. Okay, nice. Well, why did I ask this question? Because it's closely connected. Think about it. We want to do things. We have our goals. But then sometimes when we check what other people are doing, we might get distracted. We might start trying to achieve the things that they want. We might start working on their goals, not our goals. See the point? So most of the time it's like, okay, I want to do an MA. This is what I want to do. I just want to start doing this. But then I find somebody else doing a Delta. Well, I had my reasons, but then after I saw them doing a Delta, it's like, should I be doing that? So this kind of confusion, all right? So it's very important that you know that the goals that you're working for are your own, not somebody else's. It's very important. So that you have this kind of peace of mind, you know, you're not pushing yourself too hard to achieve something that you don't want. And also to understand that it's going to take you some time to get you where you want. And this would take us to the common point, which is what? What do you need to sacrifice? Are you going to sacrifice some time with family? Are you going to sacrifice more hours of sleep? Are you going to sacrifice some money? Think about the things that you're willing to give up, because life is all about opportunity cost. If you want to take something, you have to leave another. So think about it. Is it worth it? Okay. And then after this, how? So for example, I want to be a better teacher. I want to develop. So will I watch some YouTube videos? Will I attend some free webinars? Will I do a CELTA course or a TEFL course or any of these courses? Or will I just read? Those are different options. So how do I want to get where I want? Okay, because you can go to that place by train, by bus, by taxi, however you want, right? It's the same idea. So think about why you want to go there, what you're going to sacrifice to get there, and how you're going to get there. Okay. And then alternatives. This is something that we're going to be speaking about at the end, towards the end of the session. But simply because we have so many alternatives, this is a good thing, but it's also very difficult, especially if you're not aware of all of them. Okay, so the alternative, simply think about it this way. You know, when you write something on a piece of paper, which would you prefer, using a pen or a pencil? And why? You can unmute yourself or type it in a chat box. And I'd be very happy if you would just unmute and start speaking.
So the question is whether we want to use a pen or a pencil.
Yes.
For me, it's a pen. I would use a pen.
Okay. Why?
I don't own any pencils.
That's a good point. All right. That's good. All right, other people. A pen, I think, Yassine, this is what you mean. This is a pen, right? It is. Okay. A pen, all right. Well, all right, so let's think about it. I'm planning for a picnic. I want to go to the park or go somewhere, go to the beach maybe, you know, have some food and sit with my family and so on. And then it started raining. If I'm using a pen, is it easy for me to change my plan? So this is
I would say yes.
Yes, okay. But when we say a pencil here, what we want to refer to is flexibility.
Got it.
Just to say, giving ourselves the option to change our minds. Because Aya right now is someone, and maybe an hour from now is going to be a different person. I'm going to learn something new, so I might change my mind, which is okay.
We'll
All
still
right?
be friends though, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
All right, cool. So that's simply what we want to think about, the pencil mindset. Being okay. And this is also related to well-being. You know, when you get up in the morning and you have your to-do list and then you start writing everything. And then, for example, someone in your family needs help. And then you go and help and you waste some time. So you don't achieve what you wanted to achieve. And then you start, you know, blaming yourself for not being committed, not achieving what you wanted, and so on. But then the pencil mindset, it just reminds you that life happens. That even if you have plans, even if you work so hard to achieve them or to achieve your goals, things might happen and you might not be able to achieve what you wanted to. So again, this is also related to your well-being. Okay, so let's now stop for a moment and think about these questions. Let's think, and I'm going to do it actually myself. So just in 2 minutes, think about it. Where are you now? Where to? Why do you want to get there? Why do you want to achieve that goal? What are you going to give up? Or what habits are you going to, you know, stop doing? All right. And how you're going to achieve this, and if there are any alternatives. And when we say alternatives, this doesn't mean that you know everything about them, but maybe you can look them up, you can search. Maybe you can learn more about this. All right, so just 2 minutes. And if you'd like to share this in a chat box, that would be great. If you don't want to, at least think. Think and write. It's very important. I'm done, actually. Like, I put some things here, so this is helping me. Okay, that's good. All right, so if you're done, just show me a thumbs up. If there is anything that's not clear, please ask. All right, so please let me know if you finished or not. Okay, good. Okay. For people who just joined us, what we're doing, we're looking now at professional development. We're looking at the beginning of the journey of professional development and the questions that we need to think about before choosing anything or before deciding on what to do. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so now after we decided that, okay, this is where I am a teacher with this number of years, what do you mean, can we use technology? I think it's Murad, so... Oh, all right, well, one of the things that I try to avoid most of the time, especially when I'm planning, or at least like trying to brainstorm some ideas, I avoid technology. I prefer a notebook and a piece of paper because I don't want to be distracted. So laptops and phones are two notification traps. So I avoid them. I just use a pencil or a pen and a piece of paper. Oh yes, well, one of the main concepts that we discussed at the very beginning was that every one of us, like everyone has their unique path. So it would be nice to brainstorm ideas. Yes, this is something that we can do. But some people like to keep their goals to themselves, which is also fine. Okay. Okay, I think this question is for you, Mohammed. So, all right. So, nice. So let's go on here. All right, so we thought about those things. Where we stand, what do we want to achieve? What do we need to do to get there? And how, right? So we thought about this and we also thought about different alternatives. Now let's think about it. Now we're still in that taxi going where we want to go, right? So it's very important to go slowly but surely. We don't want to get injured. We don't want to have an accident. We just want to get there. Okay, that's the main point. Now, thinking about it, which is easier? Which is easier? We have two options here. The first one is to keep pushing myself to read a book every day. So I go to my desk, I have so many things on it, and then I say, I want to read that book. Is that easier? Or it's easier to have a book next to my bed without having my phone, of course. So imagine this, you have so many things. You have your phone, your laptop, and everything here on your desk. But next to your bed or in a different room, you only have the book. Which one would make it easier for you to start reading or to just pick up the book?
I'm not sure. It depends on because if I spend most of my time at my desk, and
Okay.
if the book's there, then there's a likelihood that I'll pick it up, right?
Yes.
But I mean, maybe I could just have it with me at my desk, and then when I go to bed, take it to bed with me.
All right. Very good. Nice. This actually covers it, yes. So one of the things, if I have it next to me, but I try to avoid distractors or avoid distractions in general. I don't have my, so imagine this, you have your phone and you have a book next to it, which is easier. Most of the time, for most people, it would be the phone. You know, it's easy, you can just scroll, check Facebook or Twitter or something like that, and you had fun, right? But if you have a book next to you and you don't have lots of things around it, it would make it easier for you to start reading, or at least to pick it up, look at it. That would be maybe the beginning. So what I'm trying to say here is, don't just keep pushing yourself to achieve something, but try to start building the habits that would take you there. So for example, I shouldn't say, I have to read books and so on. No, I can just say exactly the compound effect. I've just read that book and it's nice. It's very nice. All right. So simply don't tell yourself, oh, I need to read a book or I need to read books. No, you can just say, I will read 1 page every day. That's enough. Another thing, I will read for 5 minutes every day. Just 5 minutes to start building that habit. Later, reading books wouldn't be a problem, because instead of having this kind of resistance, because I'm trying to push myself to do a new thing, no, I build the habit and now I can just like read, and now it's becoming my habit to start doing this, right? Or it's my habit now to read, so I have less resistance. So instead of wasting your time on pushing yourself to do things that you don't like, start building the habit of liking those things. I'm not sure if I'm making myself clear. Hopefully I am. All right. So what's the compound effect? It's a book. It's about, like, think about this. You decide to have a cake, like for example, a cake every day, or 1 extra spoon of sugar every day. On that given day, it doesn't make a difference. But after a month, they would, that'd be too much. And then after a year, and so on. So just, it's very much like, like the concept of, what do we call it? Atomic habits. Very little things that you start doing, and when they accumulate together, you start getting big results. That's the main concept. All right. Murad has been raising his hand for a while. So yes, if you have a question or you have an idea, please go ahead.
So why I told talking about compound effect, they told us so we can start by a small steps. After that, we will achieve a big challenge. And also, I share experience when I start to do challenge with the friends. For example, review book. So we must every week, for example, read a chapter. So we challenge ourselves, and sometimes we can give us some gift or something like that. So it's like that we can give to our mind something positively for achieving another. And also, like what we say, think big and act small. So we need to start a small steps. And also, for example, for me, because I am math teacher, also I like English, I say for my students, 0 + 0 = infinity, because when we have a small knowledge and we add it to a small knowledge, knowledge can be big, and like, so we can improve ourselves exponentially.
Excellent. All right. That's it. So you don't have to achieve big things. As you said, think big, but like act small, like do small things that would take you where you want. All right. So very, very good. So as you said, it's all about consistency. So, and patience, because you cannot like achieve something that big just tomorrow. You would need to start somewhere. All right. So Now, in order to do this, so we thought now about where we are, where we want to go, why do we want to go there, and all that. Now let's think about, okay, now professional development. How can I develop? How can I design my own teacher training program? Or if I'm not going to do that, I'm going to do something different, which is I'm going to choose a suitable course for myself. Okay, so how can we decide? How can we choose? So take a look here. So the main thing, the main word, if you want to remember it, it's inspire. Okay, what does it stand for? First thing, impactful. So simply that thing that I want to do is going to have some good results, things that I want to achieve. It's going to make some changes. That's number one. Number two, needs-based. Remember the question about LinkedIn and checking what other people are achieving and so on? Remember, you need to be achieving your own goals. So for example, let's think about this. If I have problems with pronunciation, all right, but then I've seen a friend of mine doing a course to improve their grammar or their accuracy when they speak English. And I started doing the grammar course with them. Is this needs-based? What do you think? Should I be doing that just because my friend is doing it? Of course not, right? So whatever I choose, it needs to be consistent with what I need. Okay, so number one, I need to get an effect, and then number two, it needs to be based on my own needs. Okay, following this, sustained. So as we said, nobody develops overnight. So we need to be consistent, we need to yes, exactly. So so simply it needs to keep, it needs to stay there for some time. So to build the habit, to start, getting it and actually applying it. All right. So that's the third one. All right. The fourth one, peer collaborative. As you said, I think that was Murad, right? Murad said a very nice thing about him and his friends, working together and motivating each other to read. So to finish a chapter after the other, and then maybe having some gifts for those who finish reading. So having a partner or somebody who would support you would very much help you. Okay, and then in practice, you need to start applying the things that you learn. All right, so let's take here, for example, CELTA course, since we have one of the best CELTA tutors ever. So let's think about it, and that's you, Muhammad, of course. So for starters, let's think about it. Why do people do a CELTA course? To get a better job, to improve their teaching, right? So they are looking for some kind of impact, all right? Whether it's improving their job prospects, or for example, improving their teaching, other things, or traveling, having a higher salary, self-development, right? So this is the impact that people are looking for. So if the CELTA does not achieve this, then people shouldn't do it. But thank God it does, all right? And then number two, which is needs-based. Again, for example, I have this job, but I don't like it. But I believe if I did that course, I'm going to achieve another thing that I need. I'm going to get a job that I like, or I'm going to get a job at a better place. All right. Another thing, CELTA, for example, is not just a standalone session. No, it is sustained because you do the course for at least a month, 2 months, 3. All right. So it's long, it's extended in a way, right? Peer collaborative. One of the things actually that are there in a CELTA course or some other courses is that simply you have this kind of peer collaboration when you observe your colleagues, your peers in a course, right? And they observe you and you discuss together, you work together. So that's another thing. Okay. And in practice, I mean, we have here a lot of teachers. So how do we achieve the in practice part or criterion in a course? Of course, we're teachers. That's very easy.
Teaching practice.
Of course, yes. So it will be teaching practice, yes. Okay. So this would take us to that point here, the questions that you need to ask if you're going to choose a course. So if you are a teacher and you want to choose a course, then think about it. Will this achieve what I want to do? Will that give me what I want to do? Is this related to what I need? Is it long enough for me to develop while the course is like it's going on, right? And then the last part, which is peer collaborative, will I have some kind of community or people around me doing a course so that I can ask them and we can help each other? Okay. And then after this, in practice, does this course have teaching practice? Are there tasks? Are there assignments for me to do? Those are all things that you need to think about when you choose a course. And you should also think about them when you are designing your own course as a teacher trainer. So whether you're a teacher looking for a course or you're a teacher trainer, you need to think about those things. Okay, now moving to 6, reflective. Now back to the CELTA. One of the things that the teachers do on a CELTA course is that after they finish teaching, they do what? They write their first thoughts on a lesson or their self-reflection. They reflect on their own performance. Okay, so that's one more thing. Okay, and the last point, which is evaluated. Now, if you go to the last assignment on a CELTA course, when the candidates start or the teachers start reflecting on the whole learning process in a CELTA and their strengths and their areas to work on and so on, they evaluate the process. They think about it. They think how much they learned and what they still need to work on. Okay, so this is when you're choosing a course. You can also use it when you're designing a course for other teachers. And you can do it. Thank you. All right, very good. So now think about this. So we have two uses here. The first one, if you're choosing a course for yourself, or if you're designing a course, you're a teacher trainer and you're designing a course. Okay. And then the third option, which is when you think to yourself, well, I have no money. I'm not going to go take a course. I can't do that. So I will start designing a plan for myself to develop. So, for example, the first thing, remember, where do I stand and so on. So we go to the first part here. When we ask ourselves those questions. Okay, so I know those things. So for example, this is something I can do by, for example, I teach a lesson and I have Muhammad to attend that lesson, observe me, give me feedback and say, Aya, this is something that you need to work on. You need to develop this, or you're very good at that, keep it. So this would help me know where I stand. So you can do this by attending for another teacher and say, oh, I need to do that. He does that in a very nice way, but I don't do it. Maybe this is something I should learn to do. Or I get an experienced teacher to attend my class and give me feedback to help me know where I stand. Or just simply in a discussion. Somebody can ask me some questions. What do you know about this? What do we use that for? And so on. And then this would show how much I know. If there is a question that I can't answer, oh, then this is something I can look up when I go home. So this all would tell you where you are. And according to this, you can start having a plan when you think needs-based, which is, what do I need? So for example, somebody asked me to, you know, the phonemic transcription, of course, right? So when we write things using the phonemic symbols. So for example, someone posted, you know, some people like to do that, especially English teachers, they love to do that. Sometimes they post something and it's all transcribed. And then it's like, you look at it, it's like, I don't get it. That tells you that maybe this is something that you would want to learn. All right, so now you know something that you need to improve, for example. Okay, and according to this, you start, okay, saying, for example, I'm going to read Sound Foundation, or I'm going to read How to Teach Pronunciation, or I'm going to go attend a course, or there are some videos on YouTube for Adrian Underhill that I'm going to watch. Okay, some people say, oh, I'm going to have a course with a native speaker. So you have so many different options. Okay, now you need to try some of these options if you can, and then you need to evaluate the learning process. So maybe you would read a book, and then after you finish it, you say, well, the book was nice, but it didn't really help me. So I think a video or a course would be more helpful. Or maybe if I do it differently, when I have a partner or one of my colleagues reading with me so that we can read and discuss together, that would be more helpful. So in this way, you can actually tailor the course the way you want it. Okay, now, this is all before and during the training. Now, let's think about it. I wanted to improve my awareness of pronunciation and how to teach it. So I read a book, and now I'm done with it. And let's see. Let's see what happened. Did I learn something? Did I improve? Are there some points that I still need to work on? So these are all questions that I need to ask. And as we agreed at the very beginning of the session, I'm not going to give you answers, but we're going just to think. This is the main thing that we want to achieve in today's session, just to think to just be intentional about what we're doing. We're not just doing things because people do them. We're not just doing the CELTA course because people do it. We do it because we need to do it, because we need this kind of impact in our lives, and because we can. That's also another thing. And because we want to be part of a community to keep supporting us. Okay, now, the training is over, whether it's my training or it's exactly what's the added value. Yes, so whether it's a training that I designed for myself because I chose not to do a course, for example, or it was a course that I chose using the Inspire elements, or it was a course that I designed for my trainees. Like, for example, I'm a teacher trainer, so I designed a course for teachers. I can just simply design some kind of design a task, or just simply ask them about those. Did you find that you were collaborating with others and it was helpful? Did you find opportunities to practice what you learned? Did you have the chance to reflect on your own progress, and so on? So you can do it in the 3 scenarios, whether you're choosing a course, you're designing a course, or you are designing your own course. Okay, so the reflecting part, and then after this we have rinse and repeat, because it's an ongoing process. You can't stop. It's like you need to keep developing. And by saying, like, when I say you have to keep developing, I don't mean that you have to keep taking courses. No, you have to keep developing. It doesn't have to be courses all the time. Sometimes the best way to learn is to just simply teach. So you don't have to keep taking courses. For example, you can teach. So imagine this process. You teach, you reflect on your own teaching, you choose some areas that you need to improve, you go and read about those. These could be, and when I say read, it could be watching videos, it could be asking experienced teachers, it could be doing a course, it could be reading some chapters from books, it could be reading complete books, or it could be attending classes for more experienced teachers. It could be any of those. So now you know what you need to develop, you read about it, using any of the different things that we said, and then you plan your coming lesson, and you teach, and then you keep doing that. This is one of the ways. So it's not only about doing courses. Okay, so the last point is make sure that you're a part or that you're part of a community where you can develop. So imagine this, you're like in a WhatsApp group and everybody posts something that they read or a nice idea that they heard. That's good. That's good enough, actually. If you ended your day, if the day is over, but you just got one new idea, this is something big, actually. But if your days go on and you're not developing, then you're not doing anything. Yes, agreed. All right. So we've been speaking about professional development for a while now. The last point, which is well-being. And take a look here at the title of this, productivity and or well-being. Do they work together or are they like opposites? Like you're either productive or you're taking care of yourself, or you can do both. What do you think? Since nobody's opening their mics to speak, you can write in the chat box or you can unmute and chat.
Well, I agree that it's both. You don't have to sacrifice one or the other, and often one leads to the other, right? It's not one or the other, but one depends on the other.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, yes. All right, well, that's the point here. I was just listening to this podcast yesterday. I might actually share the link of that episode with you. It was amazing, right? And it was about a lot of people thinking that well-being is all about, sitting down, relaxing, reading something that I want, and that's it. Or watching, binge watching something and that's it, right? Some people think it is that way. But actually, sometimes well-being is getting the things that you need done. It's just getting rid of the to-do list that you have. Because we sometimes, a lot of us maybe, and let me know if you actually agree, some of us would be like, okay, I'm gonna watch that movie and just to relax, unwind for some time. But then while you're watching it, you're thinking, oh my God, my boss is gonna fire me. Oh my God, I didn't do that. I still have to do this task. So you're doing something that should be fun, but you're not actually enjoying it. So in that scenario, your well-being is actually to leave that movie, all right, and then to do the things, to get rid of the things that you need to do, to finish them. And then you would be able to enjoy that movie or enjoy that book. So well-being is not only about not doing things, but it's about doing, like, prioritizing your well-being, yes, but your well-being is like being anxious is not fun. Being stressed is not fun. So even if you're doing well, even if you're out with your friends, even if you're sitting with your family, it's not fun. Okay. So to check that, we have more questions, surprisingly. Okay. So think about that. The first thing that you do in the morning. And this is something that you can share. So if you'd like, please type in a chat box. What's the first thing that what's the first thing that you do in the morning? And what's the last thing that you do? And when I say you do in the morning is not when you get up, it's when you wake up, once you open your eye. Once you open your eyes, is it checking your phone, checking emails, or is it like leaving your phone, doing the things that you need to do? Okay. Excellent. Thinking about the duties of the day. All right. Check phone. Checking emails. All right. Okay. So what do you think? Is that working for you? Like, or is this something that maybe you would like to stop doing? Okay. Okay, nice. So I'll share something actually like personal, which is one of the things that I'm trying to stop is checking my phone. So once I'm done working, I leave my laptop, I leave my phone somewhere that I can't, see. And I get like my e-reader or a book, and that's it. That's the end of the day. So when I get up in the morning, the next day, the last thing now is not work, is not anything related to this, because the e-reader, you cannot check emails, you cannot do anything. And if you're using the book, same thing. All right. And then the first thing in the morning when I get up, if I feel like reading a couple of pages, then this is something I do. If I don't feel like it, then I can just get up and do the things that I want to do without being distracted by the notifications. Listening to podcast. I agree. Hajar, this is exactly what I do. So when I got up in the morning, the first thing is I would listen to a podcast. And most of the time, again, like using a headset or something, I put my phone somewhere I can't reach. And then I just go about my day. So, and it's been working for me. It's very nice. It's been working really, really well. Okay. That's a very good start of the day, Marwa. Okay, interesting. Very nice. So now think about it. Does it mean like that checking your phone in the morning is a bad thing or a horrible thing that you shouldn't do? No, if it's working for you, then that's okay. But if you feel like you're all day long, you have nothing to think about but work, then there is a problem. For me, it was that way. So that's why I decided to make some changes. Okay. So just simply as we agreed, reflection, reflect on the things that you do. Are they intentional? Are you being intentional about those things? Do you check your phone because you need to check it, because you want to check it? Or is it just mindless scrolling, like you're just checking things and you're not paying attention to any of them? Because if it's in that way, then it would be better for you to do other things. Or at least the focus that you're doing is to have fun. Okay. And next question. Remember we agreed that teachers are busy people? So we go to the tricky question. Do you feel that you have enough free time? I'll start by answering in the chat box.
I'm not sure what free time is. Can you tell us, how do you define free time?
Like time when you can do things for yourself.
I do things for myself 24 hours a day.
Okay, like are they for your own well-being or are they for work?
Well, everything is, I work for myself and for my own well-being.
Okay, that's very nice. So in this case, you're being very intentional about everything that you're doing because you can see the
It
results.
comes naturally.
Okay, can you like elaborate on this?
Just I've had trouble with the concept of free time. I think time is never free. It was always maktub.
Yes. Yeah, I got the point. Yeah. But
Okay.
what I'm thinking about here is that you have this time. Think about it as a resource, right? Something that you have. Are you using it? Do you have enough time to do the things that you would like to be doing? Or do you end the day or the day's over and then you feel like, I really wanted to read something today, but I couldn't. It's like that, this is what I mean.
I don't think that's ever happened to me, no.
Oh, good for you. Okay, that's very nice. So I'm working on that. I want to get to that level when I feel like, all right, I'm happy with my day. I did everything that I wanted. So, all right, that's very good.
Well, it's just that if I didn't do something that I had planned to do, it wasn't meant to happen. So there's no point being sad about it.
Nice.
In other words, failure is normal and we should be used to it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if that's what you want to be convinced of, because that's what I'm convinced of.
Okay. All right. That's a good thing. That's a good thing to think about. All right.
Ashraf, no free time.
Okay. Okay, that's very nice. Yes. Most of the time we don't manage it properly. Yes. Okay, so one of the concepts here is sometimes when you have a task, let's think about this. You have a task you need to do, and then you say, okay, I'm going to do this today. Some way, this task is going to extend to consume your whole day. But if you said, I have this task, I need to do it today, and you set the time for this task to get it done, of course, when that life could happen and things could change, but at least you set the time for it, then you can finish it. And then you would have time to do other things. Okay. And moving to the third question, which is, do you use a calendar to plan your day or you don't? I'm not recommending this or that, but this is just a question. Yes, it's like you're either planning for the course or the class, or for a certain lesson, and then you're teaching the lesson, and then you're reflecting on it, you're marking homework and so on. Okay. All right. So we're still looking at the third question. Do you use the calendar to plan your day? All right, very good. So this would take us to one more question. If you have a calendar and you just have this kind of plan and you put the activities that you need to do and so on, do you include breaks in it, or you don't just write them? Like if you have a break, you have some time to chill. Do you write it or you don't? Oh, okay. I do. I do write the things that I want to do. So for example, if today I want to visit my family, or I want to visit like my uncles or something like this, I put it in. I add it so that I know that this is something I need to do or I want to do. And I actually deal with it as one of my responsibilities. Like, I need to do this for me today. I want to read this because it's going to make me feel happy. Okay, so these are just some questions. You can find much more questions. You can think of more things. Okay. That's very good. Okay, so yes, for me, for example, there are 2 hours during the day where this is like lunch break. It's not actually lunch break. I don't take like a 2-hour lunch break, but this is the time when maybe I can have lunch. I can sit with my family for some time. I can check social media. I can do whatever I want. These are the 2 hours, and they're in the middle of the day. Using Pomodoro really helps, yes. There is actually a very nice app. Let me type it in. It's called Focus To Do. So you can add the tasks. You can add categories. You can say, for example, I want to work on this. This is the project. And you start adding tasks to it. estimating a time for each of the tasks. And then once you start working on it, it starts counting, you know, giving you like a countdown. And then when you finish it, it gives you this kind of summary at the end, telling you that you spent those hours working on that project. It's very nice. I tried so many different apps, but this one was my favorite. Okay, so it's my favorite to the limit that I made, like I had this kind of life subscription. It's like, okay, I like that app, I'm gonna keep using it. I tried other things, like for example, I used ClickUp, but it's insanely difficult to deal with. It's not very user-friendly and it takes a lot of training. There is also Notion, but so far, like for me, what I used was Focus To Do, and it's very user-friendly. You can use it on your laptop, on your phone, any device that you have. All right, again, it's just my recommendation. There must be other apps that are better, but this one is suitable for me. Very good. So that's something else that you can do. And of course, if you're not going to be distracted by your phone. Okay, very good. So we have here some tips. And those tips like are from my own personal experience. So I'll be waiting for you also to add some more. Maybe I can, you know, or I know I will learn something from you as well. So leave work at work. One of my biggest mistakes is, for example, I used to work like face-to-face. And then I would have some like exams to mark, some homework to mark, and so on. So I'd say, no, I'll just stay with my coworkers here, chat for a bit, and then I'll mark it when I go home. I'm not saying like don't have fun with people working with you, but if you get those things done, then you're more likely to do other activities, maybe with your family. And that also includes, especially for people who are working online, or people who work online, then once it's time for, you know, work is over, that's it. Maybe you can leave one more hour, an extra hour, to respond to any questions or to send emails or any of that. The second thing, always have a plan. And I'm not a big fan of planning things in the morning because, you know, what, at least maybe this is for me. Once I get up in the morning and I say, okay, I need to do this, and that, I start getting overwhelmed because I have so many things to do. So what I do is, before I sleep, I plan the things that I want to do in the morning. I have everything ready on my desk so that once I get up, the things that I need to be working on are there. Okay. And then pencil mindset. This is something that Muhammad mentioned as well. He said, like, if something doesn't happen, then it wasn't meant to happen. All right, this is one thing. I say it differently. I say life happens. It's like you plan things, but life happens. Things happen and they stop you. So having this pencil mindset would help you avoid perfectionism, saying, I have to to finish this today. Well, no, you should finish it. If it's done, that's good. If it's not done, then maybe you have a problem with discipline. This is something that you need to work on. If it's not done because of some external reasons, then that's okay. You can't control everything. And the last thing, which is remember your why. Remember why you're doing things. Remember something a lot of people say, actually, which is revisit your goals. Every now and then, revisit your goal. Try to think why you started all of this in the first place. Sometimes we do this for motivation. Sometimes we do it so that we don't get lost or we don't start working on other people's goals. So actually, before I go, I'm waiting for some of your tips. So tell me something to do. I think you now know a lot about me when it comes to work or how I try to manage my day. So maybe give me some tips. Or some of the tips that you got from your own experience. Okay. Okay. Discuss your goals. Yes. Any other tips, like things related to how you take care of yourself or how you organize your work? how you avoid burnout. Okay. I think you meant professional and personal. But
That's a
then
Freudian slip there, man. No personal at all, Murad. Just personal.
Okay, that's very good. So that's nice. Yes, Marcel, I agree with you. One of the things that you can also do is delegate. If there is something that somebody else can do, pass it on to them. Let them do it.
I think that I'm sorry, I'm gonna talk. Everybody's typing and it's great. But I
Yes.
don't mind if you don't mind. Apples, just eat apples, like 1 or 2 apples a day. They're really good for you, and they got a little sugar, not too much. So you know, just take care of your physical being as well. You know, that's really important, I think.
Okay. All right. Avoiding toxic people. That's okay. That's interesting. Yes. Connecting with nature. That's also a very good night. A very good things to do. Very good thing to do. Yes. Okay. Oh, if you get us here. All right. I'm gonna copy that. All right. That's very nice because most of the time, if I have something to do and it doesn't take that much time, I do it first thing without thinking. I don't even plan it. I just do it. But having two to-do lists is a very good thing. I never did it before. Oh, meditation. Yes, it worked. I can say that it worked. Okay, very good. I agree, Murad. Like one of the things that I started doing for me personally was trying to learn chess, how to play it. It was very fun at first, but then it got difficult and I stopped enjoying it. It's like, that's too challenging. I just want to relax. I don't want to think. So, okay. Nice. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone, for all the great ideas that you shared. I hope that this session like got you to think. That's the main goal. I just wanted us to think together as teachers and think about our development and our well-being and so on. It was not about giving you anything. It's just mainly about us thinking together. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, of course, like whether to me or to Muhammad. If you have further question that you'd like to ask me, this is how you can contact me, scanning the QR code. And if you want to contact Muhammad, of course, I mean, he can tell you the channels that you can use. And you must also be on his WhatsApp group. It's an amazing one.
Guys, don't leave yet. Aya, if you could stop sharing if you're done, I'd like to say a few words
Yes.
to this very, very nice group of people. So Thank you very much, Aya. I agree with the comments from the people who've joined us today. It's useful. It's really nice to have taken the time to think together about how to stay healthy together as teachers. Part of this session was devoted to professional development. The reason that we have EFA-WITT, the Webinar Initiative for Teacher Training, is to help you teachers take control of your own professional development. I would like to very strongly encourage you to contact me and let me know which webinar you would like to run for us. So running a webinar is great for the people we run the webinar for, but I also want you to think about the fact that designing and running a webinar is good for you as well. It's the opportunity to do research and to be productive and useful for your colleagues, people you don't know, and to build a community. If you do want to run a webinar, put the topic on the WhatsApp group and see if other people would like to join you. Yeah, because you don't have to do this alone. There's a lot of different things that people want to learn about. And, I think Aya mentioned it, teaching is a way of learning. Yeah, so if you're interested in a topic, get together with a few of the rest of us and you'll teach us, and by teaching us, you will learn. So I just saw in the chat a suggestion for teaching with AI. I like that, Rashid. Can you put that in the WhatsApp group and see if there are any other people who would like to join forces with you to put together a webinar for us? Would anyone like to say anything about that or ask any questions before we stop? Okay. Thank you everybody for coming. Have a wonderful evening. Oh, send the WhatsApp group for anyone who's not a member of. Oh, here it is. Thank you, Yassine. So I'll keep this open a few seconds longer so you can copy the link to join the WhatsApp group. No, that's my personal number. No, that's not the number for the WhatsApp group. Yassine, what are you doing? Put the WhatsApp group number down there, the company number, Yassine. Oh no, I'm getting loads of notifications. All right, no problem. We'll figure it out. Bye, everybody. Oh, there it is. That's the WhatsApp group number. Thanks, Yassine.